All right, today in the shop, we got a 2010 Subaru that needs an exhaust manifold. So we'll get it in the shop, get started. It's gonna be hopefully an easy job. All right, first two clips are right here. They're on the passenger side. You can see we got a couple little marks on them. So a gray one and a black one, just unplug them. All right, so this does have a heat shield on it, but we're gonna just try to leave it on and take out the bolts that go to the exhaust and then to each side of the head and just drop it with the heat shields on, and we'll take them off afterwards. All right, there, you'll see a little nut that holds a bracket, and that holds the wires for the O2 sensors. And so they're zip tied on. We could just try to pry them off, but we're just gonna take that little bracket right off temporarily and drop it, and then we'll figure out how to get them unhooked from there. Okay, pretty easy. We did move our little stand that was holding the exhaust so we could pull down just a little bit on the exhaust, but you can see everything's still intact on it. It popped out pretty easy. Well, you guys have seen, usually on the channel, I'll put a big set of vice grips or a wrench or something on an O2 sensor, but Harbor Freight comes through for like 10 bucks for one of these. So we'll see if it works to get the O2 sensors out. We're gonna try to save them because they're like 150 bucks a piece. So let's get them free. All right, one thing we did notice, and everybody knows new cars, grounds are an issue. This one's got a ground strap. Just wiggling it around a little bit, it broke off. So we're gonna just take that out, put a new ground wire in, just so that the owner doesn't have any problems, hopefully, later. There's a little new ground reference that we did, so that's up there as well. We didn't use the right one, but we didn't have the right one here, so should work fine. All right, we had to get the grinder out to cut a few of the bolts, get the heat shields off, but we wanted to look in here and see, and hopefully you can see right in there, when I wiggle it, it's cracked. So this is where our exhaust leak was coming from these flexes. Cracked down in there, so definitely needs to be replaced. Okay, we put them side by side, and you can see there's a slight difference in the way this one's bent to the original, so we actually can't reuse any of the heat shields, so we're not going to. The Cat already has one on it, so we'll call that good enough. All right, so we put the O2 sensors back in, and it did come with new exhaust bolts for the exhaust or the exhaust flange, and so those thread in. We're not threading them in until we get it up in there, because that was kind of the hard thing to doing it in the first place. So as we leave these out, it'll give us just a little more clearance. We should be able to slip it right in. So we'll put some gaskets on, shove this thing in, and that's done. All right, so the only thing we found so far with fitment, it fits up pretty good. That wasn't an issue, but now putting the wiring back in. So the O2 sensor is on the original, was located pretty close to the exhaust flange. Now this one is a little bit further up that way. So where the wires were originally, they got the nice little brackets on them. You can see where they plug right in to keep them out of the way. Those don't reach anymore. So we're just going through, cutting them off, putting new zip ties in, and then we can plug them in where we want them so that the wires are nice and neat, nothing gets burnt. All right, we got it all in, but the only thing is this was a little bit tough to realign the exhaust, so this might have been off just by a little, so we ended up just jacking the exhaust a little bit there, and that kind of rolled it just enough to where we could get the studs in. But it's all in, torqued down, 22 foot-pounds on these, and we just rat-a-tatted these in, and that's as tight as they got. We got the little bracket up there again for the O2 sensors, as you saw. So we'll lower it down, put some oil in it, plug in the O2 sensors, and see how it is. It will probably smoke if you get one from eBay. Just a little bit. It's just the oil from probably keeping it so it doesn't rust. So expect a little smoke, but don't be too afraid of it. Just check. Okay, I would say this was a pretty easy job. Just about anybody could do it, and you don't need a whole bunch of specialty tools to do it. Like I say, the O2 sensor removal tool, that did work nice. That's probably worth picking up. But we did ours on a lift. You don't need a lift. If you've got a set of like car ramps like these, that would work. You'll have plenty of clearance, or even a good floor jack and a couple of decent jack stands. You could get this same job done. So I hope this video helped you with your project. Thanks for watching.